Social Services meeting to order. First thing, I need a motion to approve the minutes for the prior committee meeting. Motion by Edna, second by Matt. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. At this point, I'll turn it over to Maureen.
Morning.
Morning.
Our first action item is a notice of intent to fill the vacant position of social welfare examiner number 6 and backfill. And the salary's there, $31,452, grade 8, step 0. And it's in the SNAP unit, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, due to a resignation effective 9/22/15.
Okay, do we have a motion to move this to the floor? We have a motion and a second motion was by Supervisor Strauss, second by Supervisor Frazier. Any discussion? Rachel?
As it relates, I guess maybe not specifically to this position, but maybe when we get to general discussion, I just have some questions about the SNAP program and the expansion onto that program that they're looking at for next year. And so I guess I'm a little concerned that you've got a vacant position, obviously, that you're refilling, but is there a need for additional positions because of it? And that can be a discussion for a later date, but while we're talking about SNAP.
I am concerned about what will be coming with the more people having to go to work, and we have to find out they're only allowed 3 months of able-bodied people are not working, and so that's like, we kind of took a quick look at it. It might be 600 individuals that we may have to find jobs for some of these people also, and so we're concerned about job sites and how we're going to do that. We certainly don't want people in the community hungry if there's no jobs for them.
Is this something that perhaps we could put on the agenda for next month to talk a little bit more in detail about?
Sure.
That's fine. Okay.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, I'll call the question. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Our next action item is to fill the vacant position of keyboard specialist, number 2, salary $25,713, grade 3, step 0. And this is in the reception unit due to a resignation effective 9/4/15.
Okay, motion by Supervisor Sokol, seconded by Supervisor Strauss. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Our third action item is permission for Christine Mastriani, caseworker in the foster care unit, to attend Compass Leader certification in Albany, New York from October 20th through the 23rd, 2015. And this is to help her with our foster parent training.
Okay, we have a motion by Supervisor Frazier. Do we have a second? Supervisor Strauss. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Our fourth request is for a transfer of funds to cover the salaries of 5 each staff through 12/31/15 for a total of $60,000.
Motion by Supervisor Sokol. Do we have a second? Supervisor Strauss. Any discussion? Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. There's no pending items. Okay.
We'll go to D.
Okay. Good morning, Dee.
Good morning. The first item on our agenda is permission to renew a contract with Hudson Headwaters Health Network for employee physicals and PPD testing in the amount of $100 per physical and $15 per PPD. This will be a 2-year contract, and it is something that is required by Department of Health.
Supervisor Sokol. Seconded by Supervisor Frazier. I just have a question. What is PPD?
It's the test for tuberculosis.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And I assume you've contacted with them before, right?
Yes, our existing contract is with them.
Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Item number 2 is a request to reclassify 2 of our positions at Countryside Adult Home. The positions we're looking to reclassify, I initially brought up at the prior committee meeting, is our charge aide position. And based upon review of the job description that was enacted in 2005, it didn't truly accurately describe what they were doing. So this reclassification will better accurately describe that. There would be most likely an increase in salary, but we would take that increase from the overtime budget, so this would be budget neutral, and it would be effective January 1st of 2016.
Okay, do we have a motion? Supervisor Frazier, seconded by Supervisor Stroud. Discussion?
Yeah, it's
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
the civil service.
Yes.
My question.
So, the new classification fits in with the civil service code?
I believe so, yes. This has been under review by
Trish.
Trish and I for over a
Okay,
year now.
right, okay.
Yep. Mhm.
Okay, no further discussion? Call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Item number 3 is permission to enter into a contract with Prime Health Choice to provide social daycare services to their participants. Basically, there's companies throughout the state that have been, requested by Department of Health to have contracts with area facilities and the services they provide. And one of the ones that we provide is the social daycare. So it would kind of increase our referral and our network, and increase our revenue as well. And it's no cost to the facility.
Motion by Supervisor Sokol, second by Supervisor Stroud. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. There are no pending items.
We have our overtime report, which is attached. We're pretty consistent with last year.
It's good.
I don't know if you want to discuss our budget along with social services?
Sure.
I will say that I found your budget with Countryside now on mine. It was under Countryside Health. There.
Okay.
That's why I couldn't find it.
Where would you like to?
What page does yours start on, Countryside?
Countryside, I am not sure in that packet.
It's 60/30, so it should be the second budget in the packet. Oh, no, I did it right on top. Right on top. Yep, first one.
Still not seeing. Oh, maybe I have it
Got it?
backwards?
Right there.
60/30 or 60/10?
There.
60/30.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. You all there now?
We are.
Okay. Would you like to?
Well, overall, our budget is down from last year. I believe it's 1%.
Down $153,724. How come it's down? That's good, I mean,
We basically, we went through every single budget line, and we were able to make some cuts. Back in 2005, when they recertified the facility from 60 to 48, we did have some extra, room, and each year we've, decreased the amount from each code, but this year they really looked at it.
yes.
And we also were able to see a savings through the electricity, because of the new contract that we have, the one that's countywide.
And so, with Countryside, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so we were allowed to go with that new contract
Mm-hmm.
that the county had gotten with Constellation?
very good news.
But when you say you're going down by a percentage, we're still at about 500,000 that it's costing after the revenues versus the
Correct.
expenditures.
Mhm.
Is that, so you're
That's
just saying
average.
it's not, what was it last year? Like,
Was it 578?
so
Nope.
so about it was actually a little bit more than it was last year.
That was the county share that last year,
Mhm.
that's the county share this year. So it went up a little.
It did go up a little, but the county share is based on our actual expenses and not what the projected ones are. So the county share for this year could also decrease as well.
Okay, but, so you just said we had a decrease by about a percentage, but our county share is actually increased the way we're looking at it right now with actual. But going into next year, you suspect that that will go down a little bit more to
Yes.
reflect that 1%.
Typically, what we have in the budget, we don't always spend that much, so we usually still have a little bit more of a savings.
I guess I'm having a hard time with the word savings when it's still
Right.
about 500,000.
Right, well, the surplus goes into the county surplus fund, I believe it is. But if you, what page is this? Or is that just separate?
Yeah, that's the top
Okay.
sheet.
So if you look at the 2015 revenue, and you go down to 6030 Countryside Adult Home, the 535,
You need the very top.
this
This one.
All right.
So the proposed county share was 535,490. The actual cost, once the budget was finalized, was 520,927. So if
Okay.
you do look what the projected one was for last year, for 2015, compared to this year, there still is a little bit of a savings. But
Okay.
compared to the actual one, it went up. That make sense?
Thanks.
Countryside revenue is a little different too because they have private pay. And what happens with the county share is after private pay comes in, the state pays 1/2 of the expenses after the private pay. So it can fluctuate a lot because of that, depending on the numbers of residents that we have and how many of those are private pay. So it's,
I'm just gonna have to call you and ask questions, 'cause that makes absolutely no sense to me anyway,
Well, with each
but I'll
of our
figure it out.
residents, they can either pay privately.
Right.
Or they're temporary assistants, and if they're temporary assistants, we collect their social security income, pension income, whatever it is.
Right.
So what our revenue is it's based on what those are as well. So you could have somebody that made 100,000 in income each month the year before, and then they're discharged, and the new person coming in is only $500. So it fluctuates based on that as well as the number of private pays that we have in the building. So it's very variable.
Yeah, I mean, in comparing the sheet that I got with my packet, with this, there's different numbers. Is this the more up-to-date one?
the one you have, that
Yeah,
I,
the one I have here projects different expenses and revenues for 2016.
for 60/30.
Let me show you.
Okay.
This is the overall sheet, right?
This one changed a little bit.
And this is the one I got with the packet. Yeah, it's not huge change. I
Right.
mean, just, which one, this is, these are the updated numbers on
Yes.
this one?
Yep,
Okay, that's all I needed to know.
okay.
Meaning the
mean-
one we have right now,
Yeah, the one that came in this.
not the one else.
Right. I mean, it's still good news, so, when you look at it. It's just that, this is the update. Okay, that's all I needed to know. Thank you.
any other questions with that?
Do we need a motion to approve this to move it on?
Yeah, so we probably need to go through the rest of it.
Is that all right if we move on to the?
I guess,
Do it all at the end?
Yeah. I just wonder about Countryside, I mean, in your opinion, what are some areas where we could look at, you know, obviously, it's taken a loss of about 500 grand a year, you know, what are some ways that we can try to reduce that number?
I don't honestly think that number would ever be reduced that much,
Okay.
because you still have the county portion of it because we receive temporary assistance funds. So unless we had, everybody was private pay, and then it would be reduced. But we're not set aside to be just a private pay facility, we are there for the county residents who can't afford the other places.
What's the percentage of the people that are
We have
private
probably
pay
about 6
versus
private pay, and the remainder are temporary assistance,
41?
yes. Out of the average. Yes.
Right.
I think we talked, we were gonna try to advertise and look elsewhere for ways we can bring in more private pay.
Right, and we did have another, item number 3, under 5, that we were gonna discuss today as well, which is something that we brought up at the
Mhm.
budget meeting, which was the possibility of admitting individuals from outside of Warren County to increase the revenue.
That's the unstoppable, right?
Yes.
What is your rate per month, let's say for private pay, how much is it?
It's actually a daily rate, and if you look at the 3rd page, this one right here, it spells it on the bottom, our daily rate is currently 106 30-day, and this is determined by the state, we have no, say in this. So it's about $3,190 a month for a 30-day stay. And what typically happens is if somebody can pay privately, they pay that amount each month. If somebody is temporary assistance, they contribute whatever their monthly income could be. Say it's $1,000, so they pay $1,000,
But it
21.
costs you, but it should be like 32, so you're losing money there anyway. I mean, what you should be
Well-
getting is about $3,200 a month, and all that person contributes is $1,000.
Right, but we still get the funding.
Okay.
Yeah, what happens is if their income is only $1,000, there's $2,190 left over. We get half of that out of the county share and half from the state federal share. So we still get all the funds, it's just a matter of where it comes from and how much is coming from the resident.
But the county is supplementing those.
Yes. The TA funds, yes.
Why can't the state, that's just the
That's the way that we're
percentage
set up,
from
it's
the state.
50%, yes.
What's it look like in other counties, or we're the only county with this type of facility?
We are the only one of, I think, 4 remaining county homes. So other adult homes in the area, they just accept whatever the resident's income is or private pay. And if they're a private pay facility such as the Landing or the Glen, you can definitely see a difference from a facility such as Adirondack Manor, which is basically just the resident's income. You can see a difference in services and staffing levels.
Guess we can move on to the next unless somebody has another. Well said, Rachel?
I'll catch up with you later.
Okay.
Try to understand that.
It's very difficult and complex because we are a county-run facility, so everything is a little bit different
Yeah.
for us as to anybody else.
Up before the budget, so I'll catch up with you, I don't wanna
Okay.
take up the time right now.
Okay, do we wanna move on to the social services budget and then we'll do number 3 after and we'll
Okay.
get the budget done?
My first budget is a 60-10, which is our admin budget. That's where all our salary, benefits, and operating costs come out of. 2016, mostly, you know, salaries and benefits increase per contract.
Okay, can I ask a question, Rachel?
Well, 'cause I couldn't find it, I'm sorry, I didn't look at it ahead of time. Just a question about the administration on the 1810. In the past, like in I don't know what year this was, 2012, it's like 46,000, 2013, 43,000, 2014, you're up to 82, and then this year your request is at 60. Just why the fluctuation for?
A lot of those, 1800s is local, and, fraud had a lot of payments coming in. And they've been working diligently, and I think they're more at a position where things are gonna start leveling off a little bit, because they're catching things much quicker. You know, it's not thousands of dollars that people owe before they're finding it, so I think we're gonna start seeing lower payments. So I was very conservative in that area.
So when you say lower payments, you're talking about people that your fraud department has caught, or in conjunction with
Yeah, they make out a
social or?
payment plan,
Okay.
you know,
And so
instead of.
payments are coming in, you had a large amount, obviously, that was owed in 2014, but because of that payment plan and earlier fraud detection, you're seeing a decrease in your
Yes.
administration costs to the tune of $20-some thousand.
Yeah, we,
That's awesome.
we had a couple years, I mean, we had, probably in 2013, where we had one person who owed over $50,000. They paid it all in 1 year, you know?
Oh, yeah. Usually they have the means and they're Now, my question on that, and that might be a topic for another discussion, or for a different day, is that after a certain period of days, the state allows them to then reapply for services?
On my end, I really don't know a lot about
Well,
the
more
programming and what's allowed and what isn't as far as that
For
goes.
almost every program, it's different,
Okay.
and I don't know it exactly, so I wouldn't want to comment, but I can get you that information.
Yeah.
That's not a problem to get it for you, but I know they all have, like, daycare. If people pay up, then they can come back on.
It just kills me that we can detect the fraud, require a payment plan, decrease the amount of fraud, but yet we know they're scamming the system, and we're going to allow them the opportunity to pay, to get back on it, and then it's, you know, a cycle. And I'm just wondering if other counties have adopted local laws preventing this, or if we absolutely can't because it's a state law.
It's a state law.
So we need to lobby at the state level.
Right. But the one thing is, I think we're better equipped now to watch those cases, that we know about it. And so people are working diligently to make sure that person, to the best of our ability, has or doesn't have what they say. So
So we're
that,
seeing more verifications through, like, our employment unit and
Right.
things like that.
right, and we're trying to match that up. What, you know, if somebody says they're working and we're paying daycare, that they're truly working. And we've talked to our providers to watch if people are not dressed for work. It's a good thing that you ask the question, what are you doing today? Because they lose out sometimes too, because we can't pay if a person just decided to take a day off or is no longer working, but takes their child to daycare. And in the past, we've uncovered some people that did that they weren't working and took the child for a month to daycare before we caught up with them.
Now, going forward into 2016, I had learned that there's proposals out there, and I don't know if it was passed or not, but perhaps you can, I would think it would affect your budget, to apply the daycare assistance to those individuals that are completing their bachelor's degree. And I would think that that would really increase our budget in the daycare assistance. But I'm wondering if that's accounted for going into 2016.
The state gives us what they have, and until they would renew that, it will sometimes, we're a little worried that we're going to not have openings sometime in the coming year because the state and the federal government has really changed the program to allow people, it used to be if you worked 9 to 2 o'clock, we expected you to pick up your child at 2:30, time to get back from, work to pick your child up. But there's new things that said a child could stay for the day then. So that would cost us more money.
But no increased funding from the state.
No, so what will happen is we only have so many slots, so to speak, for our money, and then sometimes some people that were eligible we will not have the money for daycare.
So we don't go into county dollars for that, we just tell them no.
That's right. We just put people on waiting lists, and we have a whole process that you go on a waiting list. Two-parent families are like the first off, last on, single parents, teenage parents, people on temporary assistance that are working or looking for work, they're guaranteed kind of that. So it's a very complex system, but we have that. We have to have in our plan exactly how we'll take care of it. If we haven't had that happen to us in years, we have had it happen in the past, but I would say it was 5 to 8 years ago where we did not have any money for daycare from the state and feds, so we stopped and put people on waiting lists. One of the nice things that came out of that, we were telling people that we could not, they were not eligible anymore because of the income problems. People thanked us for doing what we had done. So that was really nice. They said, you really helped us in this area. And we were not expecting people to be grateful for what they had, but they were. So that's nice to know.
Okay, we'll move on to the next.
Any other questions regarding our admin budget or admin?
Which one are we going to next?
Next one,
We're gonna go on which order?
Just going down the list here.
Yes.
Yes.
one would be,
So we'd be 50.
yeah.
Yeah, public facility for children.
Yep.
Exactly is that.
Yes.
There's nothing glaring, do we have to go, you guys have already went through the process?
Yeah, I didn't know, I just didn't know how.
I thought that was the point of the way the budget transparency was changing this year. Franklin said it would come
That's what I'm saying, if there's
back.
anything glaring,
Well,
I mean,
I just
I
saw
look
for
at
the
this
first time today.
sheet
but-
that I think.
Yeah, that's a good summary of.
No, don't you?
Yeah, the overview, I mean, that's why I asked if,
Yeah, I was just found,
I don't know enough to micromanage.
And John, I'm not trying to micromanage, I just, I found it incredibly
Well,
helpful
that's
last
fine if you
year
got
to,
questions, yeah.
sit in on the budget process and I wasn't able to this
That's a
year,
bad
so,
thing.
this is the first time I really, but I'm happy to look at it, I won't vote on it today then, and I can meet with you guys and vote on it another time.
Okay.
The budget.
We'll
I'll
be
just
glad
abstain,
to.
how's that? Oh, I don't want it to be a no, cause I really do support all the work that you do.
Thank you. And we'll be glad to make some time to sit down. You can have Dee come down.
That way I don't take up their time and,
That
I'm
would be
just
fine.
not informed enough to do it.
And that will be fine. We can all get together at the same time, so you don't have to.
I just don't want you to take it as a negative, that I'm gonna abstain.
No, it's perfectly fine.
Okay then. If there's no questions on the summary, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the budget. Motion by Supervisor Sokol, seconded by Supervisor Stroud. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained?
Abstain. Thank you. I think that's the proper thing to do, I don't really know.
All right. Well, thank
You
you.
always-
You
you always
did
do
a
that.
nice job on the budget, it's down, but I know you worked hard to get there, so I appreciate that. Mr. Boswell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, we're still in meeting, right?
We'll move on to, number 3.
Go line by line.
Like
I
class.
don't like to sit here forever asking questions, but sometimes that's,
You don't accomplish anything.
yeah.
I need to go back and work on my own budget.
Sorry, guys, I'll make the time separately, I don't wanna
Enough
hold you up.
practice done.
Oh, that's good. Make it fun.
You guys okay to move to number 3?
Oh,
on
yeah.
the agenda?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You know, there's something.
Number 3 for Countryside under the, information for discussion review was permission to admit from outside of Warren County to increase our census. That's mainly what this sheet is about.
Right.
On the top, it lists by year the number of referrals we've had, the out-of-county referrals we've had, the number of admissions, discharges, and you can see that it has gone down a little bit since 2009. I also contacted all of the area facilities, nursing homes and adult homes to see what their capacity was and the number of empty beds that they have. You will see with most of the nursing homes that there are quite a few empty beds. And it's something that we're kind of seeing throughout New York State, not just in this area, because I've contacted people, from out of county that I have, relationships with. I don't know exactly what the cause is. It could be because there's more of a push to keep people in the, community with services, those kind of things. But it has gone down a little bit. So I am, entertaining the idea of, admitting people from outside of Warren County. We would not get the full reimbursement for their stay, but we would at least get a portion of it, and it would help us fill our beds and increase the revenue.
So, how many beds do we have?
We have 48 beds.
And how many usually sit vacant?
Typically, we have a census of 42, 44, right around in there. Right now, we are down to 33. We had 6 residents either pass away or move on to a nursing home within a 6-week period recently, or a 2-week period recently.
All right, so, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, John. I'm formulating my question, so.
So, does Warren County subsidize this facility?
Yes.
So Warren County taxpayers subsidize. So if somebody comes from out of county, is there a surcharge on that to accommodate for, the difference between what we're subsidizing our residents for versus what they never subsidized for and they're coming from the out of county?
Right. With that daily rate, and we broke it down by month, and I said if somebody made or had an income of $1,000, they contributed $1,000, which left about $2,200. Typically, $1,100 is covered by the county, $1,100 by the state. So we would still get the resident's income, which is the $1,000, the money from the state, which is the $1,100. So it's another $1,100 that we would not get, that would, in essence, be subsidized by Warren County then. But at this point, you're not getting anything.
Right, because it's empty.
Correct.
So, so it costs $3,190, and that's for a Warren County resident?
That's for anybody, period. But typically, we only accept Warren County residents.
And they would, of course, be given priority if you got full.
Absolutely, yes.
But, so even the person from out of Warren County pays $3,190?
If they're private pay, they would pay that full amount. If they were not private pay, they would just contribute what their income is, similar to our residents that it can't afford to pay privately.
And then the state and county contributes
Yes.
that. So would we be contributing to out-of-state people who are staying at Countryside facilities? I mean, would that be coming from the Warren County taxpayers' pocket?
It would be coming out of the county share, out of the budget. So it wouldn't be an additional amount to that,
So
though,
somebody that couldn't afford the facility, we would be subsidizing them.
so to speak, yes.
Not their county.
No, we have tried to get written agreements with, the other counties.
Can't do a chargeback? That's a
No.
little joke.
But we have tried to get agreements with them even on a case-by-case basis, and no other county is agreeable to paying for someone in their county to stay with us. But you do have places like Hamilton County where there are absolutely no adult homes. Essex County, you got the lower end, where there's very few adult homes. Even Washington County, there's a few. There's not a lot.
Yeah, but I'm still trying to get the financial picture. Even allowing even though we fill a bed that's empty, It's still gonna come out of the Warren payer, county's payer, taxpayer.
Yes, but it is even if the bed is empty. It's not an additional cost if
All right,
we
so
fill it
what's
with
the
somebody
difference?
out of county.
What's the difference? Let's say we fill the bed with an out-of-county person.
We're just not getting that $1,000,
We're
so to
not
speak,
getting the
reimbursement,
$1,100.
yes. But right now, we're not getting the $3,100.
I see what you're saying, so even though the bed's empty, we're still paying for it out of
Yes.
our county dollars, so
Yes.
why not bring somebody in, get
Yep.
partial reimbursement?
It will not cost additional monies out of the county share.
So filling the beds, then, I guess the bottom line, filling the beds will actually decrease the burden to the Warren County taxpayer.
Yes, because you will have
That's the
an,
bottom line.
you'll have that extra $1,000 in our overall revenue,
Yeah.
which will help. So it'll decrease the county share in the long run.
Even though it seems unfair at one
Right,
end,
yes. Mhm.
the bigger picture is.
It will save money in the long
I'm
run.
getting there, thank you.
It's a very good question, though.
Yeah.
So if we were at capacity at the 3190/80 per day, we filled all those beds year round, we wouldn't have any deficit. Or would we
I'd have to
still?
look at that, I'm not sure. Because even though you get that full amount, sometimes our operating expenses are still more than that. I would have to look at that, I couldn't comment on it yes or no right now.
The only concern I would have with, going out of county is if we weren't able to provide that service for a Warren County resident that was able to, so
That's why, I mean, if we agree to this, I would like to limit it to say 5 residents. And if we had 2 people looking for placement, one from Warren County, one from Washington County, we would take the Warren County resident over the Washington County. So our county residents would have priority or precedence.
How about if the Warren
Yeah.
County resident?
I raised my hand, but it.
Yeah, let-
You did.
Mr. Sokol.
No, I-
Mr. Sokol, you can speak.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think we all have a lot of questions and concerns. Has this been passed before Paul or Martin maybe, where we need to, because even to the, if we are full, and let's say we have a Warren County resident who wants to go there, and there's a resident from somewhere else, do they get bumped, or, I mean, there's just too many things that
We
I think.
can't discharge somebody
Okay.
because of
But
that
I'm saying,
reason.
I think this needs to be rehashed before we vote on it,
I agree,
or with a contingency that they're gonna review. I don't care how you do it, but.
I think we should, continue the discussion with Paul
It doesn't have to be
and
passed,
come back.
right?
Oh, no, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
No.
I'm just wondering, when you are reviewing it, if, in fact, like Matt said, if everything was full, then
I
really we
will
shouldn't
look
have
at
a
that,
revenue,
absolutely.
maybe the daily rate needs to be increased, are we capped at the rate?
We cannot change the daily rate, that is set by the state.
If we're just allowed to talk, isn't it should be order of business, like, wasn't John supposed to go next?
Yes, John was next, but I couldn't.
Chris, you're a supervisor's job.
Now, if you had 2 residents, well, this is some of the things we're hashing out now. So we're beginning the conversation. We may end up with a good place. But if you have 2 residents, one from Warren County who can't fully pay, and then one from Washington County who can afford to pay the whole shot, who gets the priority of that?
That would be something determined, I would say, by you guys. I was thinking
Warren,
that
in
same
my
thing.
opinion, it would be Warren County if,
And that would be my opinion as well.
Yeah.
And just for an FYI, we do have a resident in our facility right now from out of county. That I got special permission from the board to admit her 7 years ago. And she could demonstrate that she could pay privately for a number of years.
Yeah.
But it was based on that condition. But yeah, I would prefer to give all the precedence to a Warren County resident, regardless of payment status. I mean, we do have some residents there right now that we don't get any income for.
So,
And
but the
that's-
bottom line, and that's why I favor the idea, is that if, bringing in and filling these beds up reduces the burden on the Warren County taxpayer, it's a good thing then, okay.
okay, Supervisor Sieber?
I'm all set, thank you.
Okay.
You forgot a question.
So I will
John
work
asked
on
it.
getting that information
Yeah.
for, the discussion to continue next one.
Thank you.
Would you like to make a motion to end the meeting?
Yes, I'll make a motion to adjourn if we're done.
Okay. There being no other discussion,
I'll second his motion.
motion by Supervisor Sokol, seconded by Supervisor Seaver. All in favor?
Aye.
That's